Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining me in the world today. It's great to have you along on this Facebook Live for Thoughtful Thursday. I promised you on Monday that I'd be back today to talk to you about your thinking. And it's not just because it's Thursday that you're thinking, we're thinking every day. Now, as a result of all of the videos I've done to date, I've had some feedback and some comments from people, and they want to have some top tips on well, the first one was someone trying having fertility treatment and being stressed out, having had to go 3 times, not working. And the other one was a message from Bernadette, and she was asking me how can she get back in the zone, get focusing on creative topics, and how can she slide in some time for herself. Now I'm guessing that well, actually, just before I guess anything, I want to tell you that I'm in my car, just in case you wonder what I'm at today. I have a hectic day, so I just decided that I would hop on here from the comfort of my car. And it's secondly is to say that if you are there, and I know some of you are there, if you just give me a thumbs up or some hearts so that I know that you're there. And if you want to make a comment or you've got some questions, please feel free to ask them, and I'll get them popping up in the comments box below. So, to get back to if you're trying for anything, if you're trying for a baby, if you're trying for, I don't know, maybe trying to get a new house, trying to find a partner, if you are trying too hard, then you're actually pushing it away. It's that which you resist persists. My advice is that if you have some intention around something that you want, we talked about this on Mindful Monday. If you simply make the request to the universe, your God, whatever you believe in, and put it out there with no attachment. It's when you start to attach an outcome, or your happiness is attached to something. Your happiness is all about your thoughts. It isn't dependent on having a partner, having a baby, having whatever. And in some instances, yeah, thanks for joining there. If you just give us a thumbs up and say hi and let me know you're there, so that I'm not just sitting in my car talking to my phone and people are looking at me like I'm some raving lunatic. Just give me a thumbs up or some love and a heart, just to let me know that you're there. So yeah, so getting back to whatever it is that you're aiming for or striving for, if you have some connection to it, then thank you very much. Thanks for the thumbs up. Great to have you along. Any questions, feel free to just pop them in the comments box below. So yeah, we talked about your intention on Monday. So if you want to put something out there that you want, but have no attachment to the outcome, it's not cause and effect, or it's not I'm going to have a baby and then I'll be happy. Because as you know by now, happiness is an inside job, and you're only one thought away from it. And if you think about the sort of inside out thinking as opposed to outside in, that's hi Alison, thanks for joining. And if you've got any questions, just let me know. So yeah, if you're looking for a partner, a baby, whatever it is, you just try not to focus on it. We talked on Monday about if you're looking in the direction of the issue or the problem, then basically you can't find a space for a solution to come up. Thanks for the thumbs up. Great to know that there's somebody out there with me. I'm not just sitting in the comfort of my car talking to myself, with everyone walking past thinking I'm a complete lunatic. So to get back to, hey Jonathan, thanks for joining me. Good to have you along. I'm sitting outside Warden's actually as we speak, so I don't know if you're in there today. So yes, so whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever the situation is that you're dealing with in your life, if you're looking at it, then you can't find a solution. So the first thing to think about is to look away. Yes, it's all very well to know you've got this set of circumstances, and I know I've had a number of people actually contact me regarding getting through sort of the whole infertility thing. And as I said to the girl who messaged me on Monday, maybe it's not meant to be. My coach Michael Neal talks about we are human, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and for every human experience we're here for, we're here to learn, we're here to serve, and maybe having babies this time out isn't on your particular agenda. So to think about, what are you here for? Thanks for joining me. Hey Stacey, good to have you along. If there's anything that you want to ask or contribute, please feel free to do so. So that leads me on to, okay, if we're here, spiritual beings having a human experience, what's our life purpose? And that's an exercise, if I was working with you, that I would ask you that question 20 times. Yes, that's right, 20 times. So for the purposes of this video, I'll ask it once or twice, but if you just get into that quiet mind, so just stop all the chatter, stop all the chit chat, and just blank the screen, that's it, and think about, what is my life's purpose? What am I here for? Hey Jackie, good to have you along. We're just at the moment recapping on we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and what are we here? Each experience we have is to learn something or to teach something. Like for example, my life purpose is to help people and to serve people to have the great life that they deserve. So just quieten your mind and just ask yourself, what am I here for? What am I here for? Now, if you're a quiet mind, then there's no judgment. Don't get into your ego on this one and discuss. I didn't say discuss. I just said quiet your mind and what comes up first, because that's your intuition at work, and that's serves you the best purpose. So just simply ask yourself, what am I here for? Now, I'm not going to go over that and ask you that 20 times here right now, but if you just go with the first thing that pops into your mind, that is your intuition. Now, when was the last time you trusted your intuition? That's a question that I would ask a lot if I was working with you. If you have a situation, as I said earlier, if you're looking at the problem, then that's all you see is the problem. What you want to do is look away from the problem, quiet your mind, and let your intuition, your unconscious mind, higher force, whatever you want, your God, whatever it is you want to believe in, let them guide you, let that guide you to the next steps to be taken. Okay, so when I go off this video, you can continue on asking yourself that question up until at least 20 times, because you'll never run out of something to say. The next thing is Bernadette had sent me a message, and she was saying that how does she get back in the zone to get to creative topics? Well, really, it's a bit like the sun, the moon and the sky. Today it's a cloudy day here in Newtonards, and the sun isn't shining, and I can't see the moon. But I just know for sure, and I believe the sun's up there somewhere. The same is true for your thinking, your happiness, your in the zone, whatever you want to call it. It's there. It's just that all of the other stuff that's going on, all of your thinking about life events that's happening in your life, it's just masking your inner harmony, your inner peace, your happiness, whatever you want to call it. So like the sun, your mojo is there. It's just as a result of your thinking that it's got clouded over. So there's nothing to be done to get your mojo back. It's there, and I think the best analogy is one that I read in Michael Neal's book Inside Out Revolution, and that is that if you think of your printer, and he tells the story of his printer wasn't working, he needed to get something printed urgently. He did everything he could think of to get the printer to work, and no, the printer wouldn't work. So he had, as a last resort, to phone the engineer, and of course, as they do, they make you feel quite silly, those engineers, when they say, "Have you done? Are you sure you've done?" Eventually, anyway, he said, "Right, the only thing we can do here is to just set the settings of the printer back to the default settings of the factory." The same is true for your thinking. If you think about when you were born, you had no fears. The only fears that you had were of loud noises and of being dropped. That was it. Anything else you're fearful of now or mulling over now is learned from your conditioning. Your thinking and your thoughts are from your conditioning. So if you want to get your mojo back, it really is a case of remembering when you last had your mojo and go get it. You know, it's a bit like motivation. I obviously, as a lot of you know, do some work around weight loss, and the first week someone comes along and they're all fired up and they're all ready to go, and yes, they're going to do this and do that and do the other thing and stick to it. And of course, what happens by week 3 or 4, that enthusiasm and motivation has dipped somewhat. The same is true for your happiness or your mojo or whatever you want to call it. And it's all about you. It's the 3 S's. It's about your strategies, it's about your stories, and it's about your state. Your state of mind will obviously determine whether you feel or believe you're happy or not. The strategies that you're running, if you're constantly running like the rabbit or the hamster on the treadmill, well then you're not going to have time to do the things that you want to do, the creative things. So it's about making choices. And if you're making conscious choices, then you can't be a victim of those choices. I believe that if you make the choice consciously, then you can't be a victim of that choice. So in order to get back, Bernadette, to doing creative things, it's about simply choosing to do different things, choosing to say no to something or someone. And I know a lot of you out there have great difficulty in saying no and constantly people pleasing. So it's about, if you feel the word no is a bit brutal, you can sort of say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not available, or that's not appropriate for me right now. But it's to be able to say no. So in order to free up some time to do the creative things, you might have to say no to some things or to some people or some activities. Getting me time, again, same thing. If you're saying yes to people all the time, then you're saying no to something for yourself. And invariably that means then that you have a lot of thinking about that, and that leaves you feeling a certain way. So I just want to recap on the feeling business, that you know by now that if you're having a feeling and it's a negative feeling, it's as a result of your thinking. It's a shadow of thought. So if you want to change the way you feel, change your thinking. So just to recap on what we've talked about on this Thoughtful Thursday is about your thinking around what your life purpose is, and that nice little exercise to work out what your life purpose is. And just as a caveat to that, if your life purpose, that exercise that you've done, you're not fulfilling at the moment, then that could be contributing to why you maybe feel you've lost your way or your mojo. So to think about, what, as a result of that exercise, what is it that you're here to do? And it may be that you need to change direction in terms of your life. And again, if that is the case, look away from that as you know, don't be beating yourself up about that. Look away from it and look for some guidance to help you to move in the direction of what you want to do. You need some time for yourself. Then remember that it's all about your choices. When you're saying yes to somebody to do something, then you're saying no to something for yourself. And just to sum up, or to wrap up, I suppose, really, rather than sum up, is to say that you're only one thought away from happiness, and that really is true. So if you like what you're hearing on the video and you'd like to hear some more, work some more with me, if you want to pop over to the closed Facebook group Lifeology and You and join up there, I would love to have you along. And if you have any issues, any questions, anything that you'd like me to discuss on the next video, which will be Mindful Monday, please feel free to private message me or get in touch. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for those of you who've stuck with me for the entire time. It's great to have your company. And as I say, just get in touch if there's anything that you want to talk about. And in the meantime, have an amazing day, because you are.